Hi friends, today we're going to be doing a review on the Rode VideoMic NTG, which you are listening to me on right now. This microphone is plugged directly into my FX30. There is no audio processing whatsoever, and we are in a completely untreated space. However, I do have a moving blanket to my right and a moving blanket behind the camera, and we are in a garage with drywall ceilings and concrete floors, completely untreated, relatively speaking. This microphone is the worst microphone that I've ever purchased in my entire life, and it's maybe one of the worst photo, video, audio pieces of equipment that I've ever bought in my entire life. And Rode's customer service is absolute trash. But first, we'll compare the sound to the other microphone in this comparison, which is about $50 more at this point, which is the Sennheiser MKE-600. Now we're going to be staying on the Sennheiser MKE-600 because it just works, which is something that the Rode VideoMic NTG does not do. Now the story with this microphone is I bought this about 6 months ago. It showed up in the mail and it didn't work. It didn't work out of the box. I pulled it out of the box, the on and off button didn't work, and it did not work when plugged into any of the other 4 cameras that I currently have. The FX30, the A6300, the A6400, and then a couple other cameras that I have lying around here. None of them worked with that microphone. I contacted Rode customer service, and after being on hold for about 15 minutes, I got a hold of someone, and she ran through a couple of procedures and determined that the microphone was faulty and that it needed to be sent back at my own expense. That's correct. They wanted me to send this back at my own expense. So I said, well, that's not acceptable. I need a prepaid return label for a microphone that doesn't work out of the box. She said, well, that's not really, we don't really do that usually. And I said, that's just not going to happen. Like, I'm going to get my money back one way or another. So you better give me the return shipping label. And she put me on hold, came back 5 minutes later, and magically found the return shipping label. First off, that's absolutely unacceptable. Something doesn't work out of the box, you shouldn't have to argue for a return shipping label. That's insane. So I sent this off, and she said it would probably take 3.5 to 4 weeks to get it back. Again, completely unacceptable. I finally get this back. I think it was about 4 weeks later, and it was to this microphone. And guess what? This one doesn't work either. This one has a new problem. It doesn't hold a charge. It'll charge all day. It'll sit on charge all day and only work for about 15 minutes. It'll probably only work for the duration of filming this one video, and then it'll have to go back on charge, which is about 10 minutes worth of use. I don't know what else to say. So I've got 2 broken microphones, and at this point I have like at least 2 hours into calling customer service, running to the post office. I don't live super close to the UPS store, which is what they wanted me to use to ship it back. So I have probably 2 hours in travel time. I had to go buy a box just to get a microphone that still doesn't work. My time is worth a little bit more than that. Having to go back through that whole customer service thing and get a replacement. The best thing that I could have done when seeing that this worked or didn't work out of the box is throw it in the trash. It would have saved me money having to deal with that. The correct response, or the response that should have come from Rode, was, as soon as they heard that it didn't work out of the box, should have been, what's your address? We'll send you a new one with a prepaid return label in the box. Send the old one back when you get it. That would have gone so much farther. I would have been happy. I get it. It's not a perfect world. Sometimes things break. But having to argue for a prepaid return label and then waiting 4 weeks for, it's insane. Absolutely unacceptable customer service. I will not be buying another Rode product, even though their products are tempting. And I do own other Rode products. I own a couple of these Video Micros. These are not great microphones either. They work good on camera, but when you boom them out overhead and you use a longer cable, they develop a hissing sound. Now here's the Video Micro. That's this little guy right here. Can you hear it? Hopefully you can hear it. Sometimes they'll hiss in camera. They're just not good microphones, but they're like 30 bucks. So I can be somewhat forgiving on these microphones in that area. But in my opinion, on a $250 microphone, you're like $50 away from getting an actual prosumer grade microphone, which is the MKE-600, which is what you're listening to me on right now. This microphone, in my opinion, it sounds better. It has a much nicer, cleaner, flatter sound than the Rode VideoMic NTG. This thing sounds overprocessed to me. It just doesn't sound good. And I get it. Sometimes people like the way their voice sounds on certain microphones. But if you want one that actually works, get one that actually works. And after researching a lot of this, I found that I'm not the only one who's had these problems. There's a lot of other people who've had the same charging issues, the same power on-off issues, and the same customer service issues. So let that be a lesson. If you do buy one of these, you're gonna have problems getting a replacement if it doesn't work. Now on to the rant part of the video. Now I need to kind of tell you who I am and where I stand in this whole review thing about reviewing audio gear. I mean, who am I to review a piece of audio equipment? Well, my name is Alex. I'm a full-time YouTuber. Not on this channel. My main channel is Outdoors 55. This channel is a fun channel. It's not monetized. I could care less about sponsors. I could care less about ever being sponsored. I'll get to that in a minute. I say exactly what I want on here, and I don't care. I don't care about hurting anybody's feelings or what anybody thinks. That's just what it is. I do this full time for a living, as a job, as a career for the past 8 years. I make real money doing this. It's a full-time job. I support a family, and I'm not a trust fund kid. I'm not supported by my parents or my significant other while I try to make this work in the back. No, this is my full-time job, and it pays all of the bills. I use camera equipment every day. I use audio equipment every day. The goal is to get videos out as professionally and as quickly as humanly possible. Those two things normally don't go together, but that's just the real deal with content creation on the internet. I really don't care about audio or video equipment other than, does it make my job easier, and does it make the stuff that I'm currently making better? That's all I really care about. I don't really get caught up in all the gear nerdiness and all that other stuff. Nobody cares about whether or not your audio is processed or not. I care about microphones that sound good directly into the camera, because nobody has time to process audio on a real upload schedule. They just don't. I mean, real content creators don't. Unless you're a video, audio content creator who does that specifically, then I get it. But that ends up getting you into a weird review space where we're talking about microphones. You want to talk about Rode? Why do you see Rode microphones everywhere? Why does Rode microphones always get good reviews? That's because they're paid reviews. You're either being paid to do a review, you're either hoping to get paid, or you're getting an affiliate commission somewhere. And the hoping to get paid one is the one that nobody talks about. Yeah, you can be a totally unsponsored YouTuber and the audio video space and say, well, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I can send this thing back, or I can say whatever I want about it. No, you're hoping to be sponsored. Rode throws around a lot of money to content creators. They sponsor a lot of people, and most people are hoping to get sponsored by somebody at some point. So they're afraid to say anything bad about a company who is hoping, that they're hoping to get sponsored by. That's just the reality of it. And I can say that, I know that because I'm in this space and in another industry. All right, so I'll also tell you that the vast majority of the YouTubers that you see reviewing your favorite audio and video gear, they don't actually use the gear they're reviewing. They pull it out of the box, they'll use it for 10 minutes and give you their impressions on it, but it's not put to everyday use. They don't actually use the stuff they're talking about. Once they're done with the review, they'll put the thing back in the box, and then they'll go back to using their pro gear. That's just the way it is in the audio video space. They don't use Rode video microphones for their pro YouTube videos. They just don't. That's just something that you have to take with a grain of salt when you're watching a video about how great Rode video mics are. They're just not good microphones. They really just don't make good products, in my opinion. There's better stuff out there for not a whole lot more money. This Sennheiser right here is $50 more, and it's twice the value. You're getting twice the value for $50 more. I really just can't say enough good things about it. Now, we are still on the VideoMic NTG, it is still working, luckily, but I guarantee you after a couple more minutes, this little light is gonna flash and tell me I have to charge it again. Now here's the VideoMic Pro. That's this little guy right here. We're gonna throw this in here for fun. This works well on camera. It really doesn't give good sound quality on camera, but they're like 40 bucks. And it doesn't work well as a boom mic because you get a lot of hissing, like weird hissing noise. And it's with both of them. I have a couple of these. They both do the same thing. I don't know why. They're just not good microphones, but they're like 40 bucks. I thought I'd throw this in here to show you guys what these sound like. Can you hear it? Hopefully you can hear it. Okay, we're back on the Sennheiser MKE-600, a much better microphone than this piece of crap right here. I really hope that this saves somebody some frustration and some money when they're looking into purchasing a microphone for content creation. The one downside again with the MKE-600 is that it has that on-off switch. Now I am very good about remembering to hit that one-off switch because I use a flippy screen on my camera or a monitor, and I always have the audio waveforms on the monitor, and that is what I stare at when I look at the monitor. The first thing I look at is the audio to make sure that I have audio, because even if you have an on-off switch on your microphone itself where it automatically turns on, they don't always work. They don't always turn on. So you can still lose audio by your microphone not turning on. You can also lose it by your microphone turning off halfway through the video, which this mic has done for me as well. The MKE-600, as long as you remember to turn that switch on, the microphone is always on and it will not turn off. So that means that if you leave it on all night, then it stays on all night. But the battery life on this thing is fantastic. It couldn't be any better. I mean, one battery lasts like 3 months for me. It's insane. In my opinion, that is a much better value for $50 more. Right now, these things are like $296, I think, on certain websites where these are still $250. I mean, come on. Throw this thing away, buy the MKE-600 instead, and you'll be in much, much better, happier position. Anyway, that is my thoughts and experience on the Rode VideoMic NTG. Okay, so here are some side-by-side audio samples. This is the Sennheiser MKE-600 boomed overhead about 16 inches away from my mouth. This is the Rode VideoMic NTG boomed overhead about 16 inches away from my mouth. This is the Rode VideoMic NTG. Say that 10 times fast. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro, boomed overhead about 16 inches away from my mouth. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro. Say that 10 times fast. Hear that hissing sound? I hope so. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video if I decide to make one.